Andrew, how old are you?
41.
Okay. Would you like to make your point on the background?
Yeah, I think it's fine to tell people what they can and can't wear. We socially do it all the time. I guess I would just give you an easy argument, which is that you don't want people to walk around naked. And whatever your argument that you would use for that would be the same argument that I would use that controlling what people wear, at least to some extent, is perfectly appropriate.
So, how are you here?
Yep, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I have no rebuttal. You already know my point.
You don't. You don't have a.
I'm exhausted.
You don't have a rebuttal.
No. No, I don't know what
I guess
you
I
want to say.
could take a crack at it.
Okay, go ahead, Bailey.
Yeah. So, studies have been done that show that the only thing that, actually arouses. I'm gonna be kind of cautious with my words here because TikTok gets really upset. But the only thing that actually causes arousal without any fetishization or socialization is seeing two individuals actually have intercourse. So when we're talking about,
Wait, hang on. Can I just
walking
get a
around-
clarification? You said the only thing that causes arousal is
body parts, and stuff
So
like
you don't
that,
think that women walking
naturally.
around naked would cause men arousal?
Oh, well, okay. So within society, yes, but I'm talking about without socialization. Breasts,
You mean like if you were
stuff
a
like
blank
this.
slate? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, got it. Okay, I think I at least understand what you're saying, but I don't know how that contends with my argument. My argument here is
and
just that.
I was like a
Oh, okay.
third of the way through my, you know. So when we're talking about walking around naked and like whatever bad reason there is for it, I think most of it would just be, you know, due to the socialization that we're used to, like um the breasts being, sexualized or what have you. So I guess my entire point is that, nudity isn't inherently a sexual thing. And it's only
So you
been
wouldn't argue?
fetishized.
You would argue then that people should walk around naked?
No, I think that really doesn't matter.
Okay, so they should be able to walk around naked if they want.
Yeah, fuck it. Free
So
country, right?
should men be able to walk around naked with?
Just real quick, Bailey.
Yeah.
Is this Andrew Wilson?
Yeah.
Do you know this man on like a first and
the
second
same
name
guy who
basis?
said SA is bad for some people?
That's not what I said.
It's not on video?
No, that was me mocking my opponent because that's what he was saying. And what happened was a bunch of feminists struck that out of context. You can actually hear me mocking him for it. So.
Oh wait, you're the podcast guy? Are we like serious right now?
The one that said SA is good.
I did not say that. You listen. So if I took a clip of you just saying that when you said SA is good, and then I just took a clip of you saying SA is good, would that be fairly representing you?
Out of all the podcasts that you've made, yeah.
That would be fairly representing you if I put out a clip that just showed you saying SA is good, and that's all I showed people.
Out of all the podcasts you've made, was what I was saying.
Yeah, out of all the podcasts I've made, I've never said anything like that. That's a ridiculous allegation.
Okay. It's up to you, Sahora, whether you want this guy on here or not.
Oh yeah, I'm actually gonna stop engaging. That's
it never happened. Like your guys are attacking me over something that never even happened.
Sure.
So yeah, like why would you attack me over something that is fictitious?
Do you feel attacked?
Well, Grim, do you understand that was an entailment of Oliver's position?
Sorry,
right.
Chris, who are you?
Exactly. It was an entailment of my opponent's position.
Do you know each other?
I'm aware of who this person is, but I don't know him on a personal level. If you understood the context of what you're talking about, you would not have any contentions with what happened.
Sure.
But, You don't care to do any
Yeah.
research.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you just care to look at some clip that some
If that's your prerogative,
regard posted.
Okay.
Okay, I'm glad you don't have any contentions with what I said.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that was taken out of context. That was not what happened at all.
Okay.
But
You can continue.
But yeah, okay, great. So I was just wondering though, Bailey, should grown men be able to walk around naked with? Do you think that's
Yeah.
is that the
So,
society you would advocate for?
hmm, I think this is the last I'm gonna address you because I don't actually think that you're a good person. But again, I think you missed my point entirely, and that's all I have to say about that.
That's not an answer to the question.
I don't care.
You don't care, so you're just not going to engage because you think Andrew mean, Smoky Man bad. Is Smoky Man bad, bro? Based on complete lies and fabrications, I'm right here to give an accounting for any of my views you think are actually bad or evil. And instead of doing that, you just say, "Well, I'm just going to refuse to engage with you." How's that good faith?
It's because they're scared to talk to you, Andrew. They're scared of logic and reason.
Nothing, just total radio silence on the panel. You guys don't have a single thing that you want to say to me.
Nah, no, I've said enough.
So you're more than happy to engage in lies about me, but when I'm here to give an accounting for my actual views, you don't even want to hear them.
Never said that. I just asked you a question.
Yeah, right. But wouldn't you want an accounting for my views? If I mean this, you have this prompt up so that we can engage in the prompt, right?
You guys just said SA is bad for some people.
That's not what I said. Yeah, see, that's not what I said. Mocking my opponent because that's what he was saying, and what happened. Why is there an echo coming in? I struck that out of context. Somebody needs to mute themselves. So anyway, yeah. So I'm here to give an accounting. If you want an accounting, I'm right here.
Andrew, what did you want to clarify?
Well, I mean, whatever it is that makes me, according to Bailey, a bad person.
Let's go beyond that. So you've heard plenty of people on the panel talk and say what they thought that you said. So how do you justify or break that down?
Oh, well, it was an internal critique based on his view, and I was showing him the entailment of his view, and it was dishonestly clipped. And
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying what about the view? Like I don't.
Which view? What's the view that you want me to give an accounting for?
Apparently that some people
well, that's what I'm giving you an accounting for. I'm telling you that it never happened.
You're not saying it. You're saying it didn't happen, but you're not expounding on your thought. You know
okay,
what I mean?
Well, I'll explain it to you so that you understand what happened.
Yeah.
If you're in a debate and somebody's talking about a large...
I don't want hypotheticals.
I'm not giving you a hypothetical. I'm giving you an accounting.
No, just don't say if I'm in a debate. Tell me what you meant by your statement.
He was saying some people when he meant almost everybody. And I said, if you made the guy I was debating with.
Okay.
Okay. So what I explained to him, was expressing to him is if you add people into a monolith, I could do the same exact thing with SA victims, and that wouldn't be very wise, would it? And he basically agreed with that point and said, yeah, you're right. I can't really monolithically do that. And so I began mocking him. And that was my mockery. And so what they did was they clipped me mocking him being stupid as though that was some position I was representing.
Okay. And then for a little backstory, what was the monolith that was being presented?
I don't remember which one he presented.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had basically said that if you say this, all SA victims can say this, and it,
that like essentially, basically, it comes down to that, something akin to that. That's not exactly what happened, but it's close enough.
Okay, so what is your actual, like, say you're talking to somebody who's not bringing up monoliths, like, what is your position on SA victims?
That SA bad. just like everybody else would agree, I would assume. But I'm not
Okay.
sure what that has to do with the prompt here, which is don't tell women what to wear. Well, I gave a very good argument for this, and I haven't actually heard any refutations yet.
What was your argument? I'm
Well, my
sorry.
argument is that if it is the case that you prefer that people not walk around naked, then I would use whatever the reasoning is for that, for the same reasoning that we can definitely address what people do and don't wear, and do all the time socially for the benefit of society.
I mean, I guess so, but all right, here's a little fun one to throw out there. I don't see boys or men wearing jock straps and they got gym shorts on, but I am like, if I go to an office, I have to wear a bra. You know what I mean? So like there is like you got to admit there's a double standard when it comes to the sexualization of different people.
Well, but okay, I'm even willing to kind of grant this and not give you the point of, well, that's a private business. I'm not even going to go down that road. I'll just point out that the sexes are different. Men and women are different, and they find different things to be attractive to them. Both of them find different things to be attractive. Both of them find different things to be appealing. And so it could also just easily be the case that, like, let's say if a man's walking around with his shirt off, that he doesn't have the same type of attention drawn and attraction to the opposite sex as a woman would have. And so, yeah, we regulate social behavior based on how the various sexes respond to each other. And that seems totally rational to me.
Well, especially rational because a lot of the one side of people who would see, let's say, women's chests out in public, a lot of times without seeing that, they act violent. So, like, they don't even have to see it; they just imagine it, and then a violence occurs. You know what I mean? So,
Sure,
like,
but that would make my
so
point
what
for
we're
me,
saying is
right?
we're not safe to do so. Whereas, like, you walking around with a all day, a lot of people are not going to care or going to
I
look
think
the
a lot
other
of people,
way.
I think everybody would care.
Well, but they're not going to be like ogling it in the same amount of numbers as people who are ogling people who actually cover up and wear a
Right.
turtleneck.
So you're saying that people respond to that the different sexes respond to each other in very different ways, and so regulation of behavior is paramount to having some type of social cohesion in society. I agree.
What I'm saying is that because a lot of people who were born male or identify as men, like for whatever reason, can't control themselves, and so now women like. And this goes back to the, man versus bear argument, where we'd rather not live traumatized after having violence from a man do something to us than getting
Okay, but
unalived by a bear.
can we back
You know
up
what I
a
mean?
little bit here before we get into the man versus bear? Would you honestly have no problem if men walked around naked with? Would that just not bother you?
It would totally bother me,
Right.
but like men already do that
No, they
and they
don't do
have
that.
pants on.
They don't do
Yes, they
that. No, they
do.
don't.
They walk around with all the time and they have
No.
pants on
No.
and they rub on women
No.
in subway
Okay, hang on,
trains,
hang on.
bus. Yeah,
You saying that men do this all the time, that's ridiculous. There may be some guys somewhere who have walked around with before, but out in public, that is not commonplace to see men walking around with. That's absurd.
it's not absurd.
Then
And
prove it, demonstrate it.
No, Andrew. Obviously, there's substantial empirics that
Show me the empirics that men are walking around with
No,
boners.
I'm being facetious.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's silly. That's an unprovable claim. What is provable, though, is that you just said that you would find it very uncomfortable if men walked around naked with, and it's like, so obviously you'd want to regulate them
Not
having to wear
because-
something, right?
right, but not because I would want to do something to satisfy that.
Who
Right?
cares why it makes you uncomfortable, though?
No. We care. People who are who have been disenfranchised by the patriarchy care because it happens all the time. And you say it doesn't, but you don't have the lived experience, nor do you have the stats.
I have the
Bring
same
up
lived experience of seeing people in
bring
public
up-
that
no,
you do.
don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No,
I
you
observe
don't.
men in public just like you.
Oh,
Is that true
you
or
do
false?
not.
How is
why
that
you
not
don't?
true?
Because you've never taken the bus home alone at
Yes,
night
I
as a
have
woman.
taken the bus
As a
home
woman.
alone at
As a
night, and there
woman.
wasn't men
As a
walking around with.
woman. As a woman.
There was women
As a
on the
wo-
bus.
Oh,
There was women on the
well,
bus
no
with
shit,
me.
and they didn't have.
No,
guess
but
what?
the men didn't
The
have
guys
either.
did. Not towards you.
Not
'cause-
towards the women. You know, like if they had towards the women, I would still observe that. They kicked me. They. It's stupid. God, they're dumb.